This is Eric Van Sweeten, and he's with Technicare. Eric, your home services company has been partnering with us for over 10 years, right?
Yep.
And you've done quite well, especially with into publications locally. What really happened to you, and also what you're providing for fellow business owners? Because you went through a lot of trials to get to where you're at right now, right?
You know, it took us a long time to figure out that we were doing the wrong thing. And one of our biggest mistakes is that we were blaming our ads for not performing well. And what we didn't realize was, to make an ad effective, you really got to figure out how to convert the people that are looking at those ads into leads that you can actually nurture. Very, very few people look at an ad and buy something right away.
Especially nowadays.
Exactly. You've got to create a system to create a relationship with people so that they know, like, and trust you over time. And when they're ready to buy, you're their only option. And it took us years and years and years to figure this out. We wasted a ton of money on ads, but we figured out how to automate the process of converting people that would see the ads into leads, and then automate the process of nurturing those leads until they converted into customers. So we were able to quadruple our return on our ad spend with our ads.
Now, this webinar itself, this first webinar, what is the goal in this first webinar?
Very first webinar in the series is we're going to go over an entire customer acquisition system and how to automate that system in a way that is going to should drastically increase the return you're getting on your ads.
You can show them how to make ads too, right?
Absolutely.
Some of those ideas.
There are a couple of very simple things you can do to your ads to make them way more effective
And even trackable.
Trackable, so you can see how effective your ads are being. Much more effective at turning people that view the ads into leads that you can actually nurture over time. Yeah. So it's very important, and it's pretty simple too. It's not a super complex thing to understand. It just takes a little bit of a shift in thinking, and which is why it took me forever to figure it out. But initially, I was thinking it was my ads' fault. I was blaming the low performance on my ads, when in reality, what we discovered is it had very little to do with the ads. Yeah, there's a couple tweaks you can do, but it's super important to figure out the system that happens after people see your ads. And it's a repeatable, simple 5-step system. In this webinar, we're gonna go step by step.
So you're gonna show them all those steps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyone that comes to the webinar is going to come away with a step-by-step process for building one of these systems for themselves. They're also going to go through a step-by-step process of redesigning their ads to make them more effective. We multiplied our ROI 4 times. I don't expect anyone to do that right away, but I think in a very short period of time, someone can double their ROI on ads and possibly triple. And over time, get to the point where you're quadrupling your ROI.
You figured out how to track the effectiveness of the ads being placed in these targeted areas when I didn't even know that was possible.
So way back when we started advertising with N2, we were jumping around from one type of advertising to another. Seemed like every 6 months we were trying something new because we were looking for something that worked better. What we didn't realize at the time, it wasn't our ads that weren't performing. The ads were performing just fine. It was our system for converting those people into leads and nurturing them. At some point, we figured out that after jumping around between a bunch of different types of advertising, there was one clear winner in all those different types of advertising after we figured out how to track things. We started tracking every single cent, every single new customer that came into our business. We have a couple of different ways of tracking that, and we figured out that N2 ads were the most effective way for us to target high-end homeowners in the neighborhoods that we wanted to get business from. So we eliminated all of our other advertising other than N2 ads, and then we started digital marketing as well.
And those were targeted areas that you preferred to work in, you know, and
Absolutely.
what was it, up to 7 neighborhoods at a time, I believe.
Yeah, and you know, we figured out at some point that was the best way to target those high-end customers is a neighborhood magazine that had content from the neighborhood in those magazines. The people are reading them, the people are connecting with the advertisers, and we have a very innovative way to design ads to make sure that our ads connect with the homeowners in the specific neighborhoods. And the ads are also designed to convert those homeowners into leads so that we can follow up with those leads in an automated way and nurture them so they know, like, and trust us. And ultimately they pick us over other companies that do the same service.
Yeah, you're definitely the top company in this area. And for business owners out there, if Eric hasn't mentioned, Eric doesn't have to work his company anymore. I think that's probably every business owner's goal, is that you spend, 2 hours a month just reviewing reports and things?
After we had figured out how to create automated customer acquisition system, I was able to step back from my company because there was none of this jumping around, figuring out where our business was going to come from. We had a steady, predictable flow of new customers on autopilot, which allowed me to step back. Now, it took me 20 years to figure that out.
Well, I did
It wasn't easy.
I did watch him struggle a bit too, you know. The
Yes.
great thing, me being an area director myself, the great thing for me was to be able to watch the process of a business owner who was struggling to make things work. And his goal, your goal really was to be the business owner that didn't have to work his business, and instead of his business working you.
Yes.
And that, I think, is every business owner's goal.
There are 5 integrated systems. So we actually have a webinar series that each webinar is dedicated to each one of the systems.
Oh, good.
And so people can literally learn each little step to create these systems for themselves. So each webinar will have a kind of like a workbook page that they can document their own system as we're going through the process.
Oh, wow.
It's the same step-by-step process that we use to quadruple our return on our ads.
That's great. Well, I want to thank you, Eric. Eric with Technicare. He's been a client that's become a good friend as well, and to watch the whole journey, I think it was so important for me to watch that journey. And now that he has such a heart to share that journey and everything you learned and those resources with other businesses, I think is great. And I thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing all of you on the webinar, and you'll be able to ask questions and answer those through chat as well. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it should be fun.